very warm welcome to you. It is nationwide on NTA. We are reaching you live from Abuja. Compliments of the season. My name is Ogochkuka Ona. President Bola Tinubu felicitates with Nigerians this time of the year, which marks the birth of Jesus Christ and celebrates the hope and redemption that are the hallmarks of Christ's life. The president says this is an opportunity to enjoy the company of family, celebrate life, and delight in the gifts of love and friendship that make life worthwhile. He adds that Nigerians should endeavor to extend the warm embrace of kindness to those around who need it, and let the multiple acts of kindness serve as a light that guides us into a happy and wonderful new year. Mr. President assures that by the strength of Nigeria's joint endeavor, the nation will shortly emerge into a new dawn of prosperity, peace, and irreversible progress. The federal government has declared Monday 25th, Tuesday 26th of December 2023 and Monday 1st January 2024 as public holidays to mark the Christmas and New Year Day celebrations. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, in a statement felicitates with Christians at home and abroad on these occasions, urging Christians to emulate and imbibe Jesus' teachings of humility, service, compassion, patience, peace, and righteousness. He urges Nigerians to be security conscious and report any suspicious persons or activities to the nearest security agencies. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, calls for prayers and supplication for Nigeria as Christians celebrate this year's Christmas to commemorate the birth of Jesus Christ. In his Christmas message, Speaker Abbas notes that Jesus Christ had a humble beginning before becoming a global and generational phenomenon. Therefore, he says it is incumbent on Nigerians to emulate the virtues of Jesus Christ, which encompass love, sacrifice, tolerance, and building consensus among the people, while urging prayers for the success of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration. The Speaker calls on citizens to continue to support their political, spiritual, and traditional leaders in the journey for a safe and prosperous country. Conducting vehicle drills on regular basis before embarking on a journey, as well as avoiding activities that lead to fatigue, will reduce crashes, especially during the Yuletide. This is the advice of the Federal Road Safety Corps to road users this Yuletide. Emediong Iba reports.
As activities of the Yuletide heighten, the road can be extremely busy due to the influx of vehicular movement. The need for every individual to apply caution and adhere strictly to traffic rules, stakeholders say, is therefore important for beautiful Christmas and the New Year event. Some motorists enumerate some measures to ensure safety on the roads.
Before you even start your engine in the morning, you should check the oil level of the car.
I'm to be careful while I'm driving. I don't drink while I'm driving. I check my cars, my tires, my hydraulic, my waters.
Meanwhile, statistics from January to November 2022 and January to November 2023 of the Federal Road Safety Commission, Akwa Ibom State, shows reduction in the number of casualties of road crashes. It is the hope of the people as they embark on various trips that the Yuletide brings joy and happiness without sorrow. In Uyo, Emediong, NTA News.
And similarly, festive season no doubt provides the time for people to relax from daily hustle and bustle and paves the way for merriment. Making the season memorable does not come with mere words, but expenses. Danny Kume Lolo in this report takes a look at budgeting for the Yuletide in the face of the prevailing economic realities.
The end of the year usually comes with festivities, and the Yuletide season allows most people spend more by buying gifts for friends, families, holding get-together parties, and even picnic for most people. The season, which also ushers into a new year, is characterized by shopping, outings, traveling, and lots of merriment.
You're spending on what you have. Don't do more than your capacity. Don't do more than yourself. If it's a bottle of wine you can afford to give somebody, do that. Don't go and borrow to please another person. Don't even borrow to please your family. Just manage whatever you want.
To tailor our expenses based on what we have. so that we can also have plans for the next year that is coming, which we all pray is going to be very fruitful and very blessed.
You don't spend all your money because of Christmas. You still look after towards the January, because that is the difficult time for me.
Respondents are of the view that it is important to spend with caution to enable one set a financial plan for the first quarter of 2024.
Remember, January is going to come. Spend according to your budget and spend carefully so that January doesn't hurt you. That's the thing.
It is also the perfect time to modify our financial plan and keep track your goals for the coming year. In Yenegwa, Dianukme Ulolo, NTA News.
And now, as Christians in Nigeria join their counterparts the world over to celebrate Christmas, the National Orientation Agency calls on all Nigerians to use the celebration to imbibe the virtues of Jesus Christ and pray for a renewed spirit of love, unity, and brotherhood. In a message, the Director General of NOA, Malam Lanre Isaonilu, recalls that Nigeria's journey of nationhood has always leveraged occasions such as Christmas to renew the common bond that unites Nigerians irrespective of religious, tribal, or political differences. He stressed the need to emulate the virtues of love, peace, kindness, and forgiveness as exemplified by Jesus Christ. Onilu urges Nigerians to ensure that the practice of sharing love outlives the Christmas season, saying that love for all is a panacea to the nation's challenges. Now, Nigeria's Vice President, Kashim Shettima, has been conferred with the chieftaincy title of Enyindigbo by the Dunukofia Kingdom in Anambra State. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports that the conferment was done at the 32nd Ukbo Fala celebration.
The 3rd of May, by the Chieftaincy Constitution, hereby confer on you the title Enyindigbo, one of the congratulations.
This is the honor done to the Vice President by the Ukpo community in the South Central Political Zone of Anambra State. The 2023 Ofala Festival of Ukpo Community is the 32nd since the enthronement of Igwe Robert Chukwudilim Eze, a resolute administrator who became the Igwe Ukpo in 1992. The day serves as a rite of renewal for the traditional ruler and showcases the rich cultural heritage of the people. Vice President Kashim Shettima acknowledged the crucial role the traditional ruler and his community are playing in uniting the nation.
I want to identify with you. I want to salute you. Your courage, your industry, your enterprising disposition, your largeness of heart is exemplified by the lives of the Ebe. Be rest assured that my boss, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is determined to redefine the meaning and concept of modern leadership in Nigeria. Be rest assured that the Igbo is the heartbeat of the Nigerian nation. The Igbo cannot be left behind. We work assiduously in all dispensations to see that the Igbo is well represented and well endowed.
The seamless blend of Christian religion with traditional activities stands out the Ukpo of Fala from other Ofalas. From Ukpo community in Anambra State, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Congratulations there to the Enyindigbo, the Vice President. Now, 250 elderly citizens have benefited from the distribution of 25 million naira by the wife of the President, Senator Luremi Tinubu, through the Renewed Hope Initiative Support Scheme in Delta State. Becky Greatman Chukwuka reports that the governor's wife, Tobore Oborewori, represented the First Lady.
The elderly in the state who were actually selected were taking their time to walk into the banquet hall with high expectations. To some of them, it's their first time to visit the government house. Senator Tinubu expressed joy at the inaugural edition of the Renewed Hope Initiative Elderly Support Scheme, REAS, themed Better Days Ahead. She emphasized that the economic empowerment program symbolizes a dedication to the well-being of elderly citizens. To her, the scheme aims to support 250 vulnerable elderly citizens aged 65 and above in all 36 states of the Federation. The governor's wife, Tobore Oboriwori, represented the First Lady of Nigeria.
This economic empowerment program is born out of steadfast commitment to the well-being of our elderly citizens has made a significant stride in our collective pursuit of a more inclusive and passionate society.
The event featured free medical checkup for the elderly. They took turns to check their vital signs. Some of them were in awe as they appreciated the president's wife and the governor's wife for their kind gestures.
This present power with them there now, God will direct them, teach them what to do at the right time.
I'm very happy, in fact, for his kind gesture.
25 elderly from each local government areas of the state received the sum of 100,000 naira each and some clothing. In all, they all smiled home happy with a renewed hope to celebrate Christmas. In Asaba, Becky Greatman Chukuka, NTA News.
And for more on the elderly support scheme, we now link up with Michael in Lagos for the exercise also in that state. Michael, compliments of the season.
Compliments of the season, Ogochukuka. Not less than 250 vulnerable senior citizens selected from the 5 divisions of Lagos State have benefited from the Renewed Hope Initiative Elder Support Scheme launched by the First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu. Esiawamaka reports that each person received the sum of 100,000 naira each to cushion the effect of the present economic reality.
The Renewed Hope Initiative launched by the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, earlier this year is aimed at bringing succor to the vulnerable in the society. With its focus on social investment and economic empowerment of its citizens, the Renewed Hope Initiative Elderly Support Scheme, RIS, tagged Better Days Ahead, was born out of a steadfast commitment to the well-being of the elderly aged 65 and above in all 36 states of the Federation, including the FCT. Wife of the Lagos State Governor, Dr. Claudiana Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, who supported the initiative with food and gift items, presented the cash gifts to the beneficiaries on behalf of the First Lady, noting that the gesture marks a significant stride in the government's collective pursuit of a more inclusive and compassionate society.
We are hoping and believing God that we'll be able to this similar program come February 2024. Remember, this is the national one, 250 people. By the grace of God, we'll have more people when we are doing the state one. This will show that we key into and we support the ideals of Senator Oluremi Tinubu.
Some of the beneficiaries speak.
It's a fantastic one. The First Lady has been doing it when she was a senator in Lagos, and she has really tried for the elderly.
I like the program, and I thank the Lagos State government and the First Lady of Nigeria, Oluremi Tinubu, for her to provide us this opportunity to benefit from this healthcare, free healthcare services. I thank her so much.
God continues to bless them for what they have done for the elderly people. It's very, very historic, and we will never forget it.
Free medical checks, health counseling, and enlistment into the National Health Insurance Scheme were also part of the empowerment scheme. In Lagos, Ese Owamaka, NC News.
The creation of Ministry of Culture and Creative Economy affirms the untapped potentials in the sector, which the present administration is strategizing towards tapping to reviving the nation's economy. In the special report, Larry Billey takes a look at the sector often described as the mainframe supporting development and what it has to offer.
According to sociologists, no civilization is built on natural resources alone. Many prospering and developed nations are built on stories, on the myth that makes them stand up with pride with tales they tell themselves of their origin and collective destiny. These are standards and values of what arts and culture brings and how it is used to generate revenue. The current administration, acknowledging the potentials in the sector, created a Ministry of Culture and Creative Economy. Adding economy to the nomenclature of the ministry by the government signifies a shift from just a source of appreciation of the nation's identity to a more viable avenue of generating revenue.
And also creating, a job for our mass youth. If you look at Nigeria is a youthful country. The youth are almost 70%, of Nigeria. So if you do not have something to engage those youth, I'm very sure you'll have a lot of issues.
The National Assembly have seen what this stands for and the benefits it has for the country. And they're now ready to give it good budgetary funding so that it can engulf the entire country. That way, the best of Arugu Festival will bring here. The best of Doba will come here. The best of Shangu will come here. The best of Drum Festival will come here.
Data by Statista shows that as at 2022, arts and culture contributed 0.21% of the nation's GDP, which indicates that even with Nigeria's export of Afrobeat music, arts, Nollywood movies, the potentials in the sector have not been fully harnessed.
Look at what is going on now. Afrobeat music on Spotify. In 2022, there are 13.6 billion streams of Afrobeat music, which is essentially Nigerian. If somebody is paying a cent for those streams, do you understand the quantum of money that we are looking at?
Key players in the sector believe that arts and culture can surpass the contribution of oil and gas to the nation's GDP if all concerned, including government at all levels, initiate projects and plans to make the sector more vibrant. In Lagos, Larry Billey, NTA News.
Those are the stories from Lagos. Nationwide continues with Fatima in Makurdi shortly after this break. Please stay.
And thanks for joining us in Makurdi. With few hours to Christmas, motor parks in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, are overwhelmed with passengers pressing to travel against all odds. Charles Abba, who monitored the situation, reports that transport fares are on the high side.
As we are left with few hours to Christmas, passengers in various parks in Makurdi are grappling with the challenges of high cost of transport fares and even getting vehicles to their various destinations. Some prospective passengers are sitting patiently, others are sleeping, while these ones are pressing hard to obtain their tickets. To them, it's a journey of forward ever, backward never, as seeing their loved ones is a task that must be done. These two guys are not smiling.
I've been stranded here for so long. Look at us. This line is not even moving.
I choose to be here because the transport fare is not much. People were here since 5 a.m. in the morning.
General Manager Benue Links, Alexander Fanafa, said the pressure and the park is due to management's compliance with the directive of Mr. President for a 50% transport price reduction.
Before Mr. President will give his directives, His Excellency the Executive Governor of Benue State, Reverend Father Dr. Hassan Yunomalia, has done that in Benue State already. He has reduced the prices of transport fare in Benue Links to over 40%, some places to 50%.
But the Secretary, National Union of Road Transport Workers, Gurukun Section, and an operational manager of one of the private transport companies explained reasons for the increase in transport fares.
And if you see the level of passengers they are stranded, most of our vehicle times when they travel, they didn't have passengers to come back. So we have to wait until when they blow back to Makurdi. And we see the level of cost of the fuel.
They maintain that they have to break even to keep the business on course. In Makurdi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
On security matters, the Benue State Police Command assures residents of adequate security of lives and property before, during, and after the festive season. Blessing Omeche Ebute reports that other sister agencies expressed optimism of a peaceful and hitch-free celebration in the state.
With few days to Christmas and the end of 2023, it is usually a beehive of activities as people try to meet up with deadlines. Over the years, it has been noticed that rate of crime increases during the Yuletide. To douse the tension and apprehension of residents, the Benue State Police Command says it has ordered the deployment of officers and men across the state in readiness for Christmas and New Year celebrations. In a statement signed by the command's public relations officer, SP Sewesi Anene, the Commissioner, George Chukwu, warns all officers to ensure security of lives and property within their area of responsibility. He further warns against the sale and use of knockouts and fireworks. In the same vein, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Benue State Command, says it is determined to provide watertight security before, during, and after the Yuletide. State Commandant Yakubu Ibrahim says the command has deployed 1,740 personnel as part of its readiness.
Have identified certain areas of needs. More specifically, we have identified all religious or worship centers, recreational centers, and other identified areas that are prone to or that are susceptible to be attacked or to criminality. And in order to safeguard these areas, we have marshaled out our operational, tactical, and intelligence squads.
They urge residents of the state to be law-abiding and to collaborate with security agencies by providing relevant information to tackle crime and criminality. In Makurdi, Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA News.
And that's it from Makurdi. Nationwide continues in Abuja with Ogochukwuka.
Thank you, Fatima. Now, the days of kidnappers are now to be numbered. The renewed approach to flattening the curve of the menace is coming as stakeholders meet to adopt community strategy to combating the challenge. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the National Counter-Terrorism Office of the National Security Advisor, in collaboration with its partners, are on the driver's seat.
Kidnapping is one of the major security challenges in Nigeria, truncating socioeconomic development. An intelligence study by the UN spanning July 2022 to June 2023 reports that more than 5 billion naira was demanded from 3,620 persons in 582 kidnap-related cases. To address this challenge, the National Counter-Terrorism Center and their collaborators are creating communication strategy on anti-kidnapping in the country. Here, traditional leaders and youth deliberate on the root causes of kidnapping and provide sustainable solutions to support the efforts of security agencies and policymakers.
Kidnappers, they might not have a target.
Suleiman Ibrahim, a traditional leader in Adamawa State, was a victim of kidnapping.
I was kidnapped on my way from Adamawa to Abuja. The number of these terrorists or criminals will surprise you. One will catch 3, 4, one will have 10, one will have 20 people. They station us in groups as commodity.
Participants advocating for security agencies to be more efficient and appeal for community policing.
And it's a problem which we are actively dealing with. Yes, the law enforcement agencies are doing their best to curb the issues.
Correspondents from the Stakeholders Forum will be communicated to the National Security Advisor as actionable intelligence. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Life assurance for families of fallen heroes in the police force has been further achieved with the presentation of checks worth more than 111 million naira to 71 affected families. The gesture comes from the Inspector General of Police Family Welfare Scheme and Group Life Assurance Scheme. Hussein Musa reports.
The presentation of checks to 71 families of police officers who lost their lives in the line of duty in Niger State between 2021 and 2022 is a show of empathy by the leadership of the Nigerian police force led by Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun. The checks worth 111 million naira is part of the resolutions of the police force to provide immediate succor to the families of the fallen heroes while other benefits are underway.
It is in the fact that we are not deterred in doing the job. That is why sometimes few of us pay the supreme price. We pray it will serve as a succor and keep them on their feet.
And it was an emotional moment for the families of the fallen servicemen and women.
We are too much happy because we never expect this gift. I will call it a very big gift.
This is a great blessing to us. The family are very happy. You can see the tears of joy from the faces of those women that we are around, the widows.
As part of efforts to further mitigate herders' farmers' crisis and reduce unwarranted destruction of lives and property, the police command is also synergizing with the Niger State Nomadic Affairs in this regard to achieve the desired results. In Mena, Hussein Musa, NTA News.
The proliferation, illicit transfer and misuse of small arms and light weapons across the country, stakeholders say, have continued to initiate and sustain armed conflicts and perceived crime in Nigeria. These and other issues formed part of the discourse on combating the proliferation of illicit small arms and light weapons in Nigeria during a one-day stakeholders forum by the National Center for Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons South Office. Archibong Basi has details.
Stakeholders, including market women, traditional and religious leaders, youth organizations, trade unions, civil society, and media practitioners are of the view that the misuse, illicit transfer, and accumulation of small arms and light weapons has remained a defining factor in undermining peace and security at the state, national and regional levels. In the ensuing discussion, the Special Advisor to the Cross River State Government on Security, Major General Okoy Obono, retired, expressed concerns about the continued threat posed by the proliferation of small arms and light weapons to security, agreeing that it has contributed to human rights abuse, communal conflict, and most conflicts across Nigeria.
It is very apt and timely, this period in particular, when we are witnessing a surge in crime occasioned by the proliferation of small arms and light weapons, among others.
And we have also retrieved a large quantity of ammunition, more than 20,000 so far. And we have carried out destruction of this first set.
It is therefore the hope of the center that bringing stakeholders together to build consciousness is critical in ensuring such weapons are laid off from communities. Archibong Basi, NTA News.
Desperate attempts by transnational criminal organizations to flood Nigerian communities with large quantities of assorted illicit drugs during the Yuletide have been thwarted by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, who intercepted millions of tramadol, 225 milligrams, pills, thousands of codeine syrup, bottles and bags of Canadian loud in consignments arriving the country ahead of the Christmas celebration. At the Murtala Mohammed International Airports, Ikeja, Lagos, all tricks employed by the drug syndicates to smuggle into the country 7,500,000 pills of tramadol through the narco import shed of the airport were frustrated by NDLEA officers with the cooperation of men of the Nigeria Customs and other stakeholders. Two shops in Ojo area of Lagos with 258 cartons of codeine-based cough syrup and cartons of codeine tablets were recovered, and a 70-year-old grandmother and her son were arrested with 117,900 kg of cannabis sativa. A consignment of spare parts going to New Delhi, India was intercepted at the cargo terminal of the Lagos airport shipment containing illicit drug. Not less than 70 parcels of Canadian loud, a strong strain of cannabis with a gross weight of 35 kg were seized by operatives of the Tinkan Command of NDLEA from a container in the FCT Abuja. Operatives intercepted a way-bill consignment of 25,000 pills of tramadol, while their counterparts in Anambra arrested two suspects at Onitsha Headbridge with illicit drugs. Similarly, operatives in Delta State in a joint operation with the military raided the home of a drug kingpin where bags of cannabis weighing 353 kgs were recovered. Similar arrest was also made in Trans-Ekulu, Enugu State. In Edo State, 5 persons impersonating operatives of the agency were arrested with fabricated gun and pistol. Chairman, Chief Executive Officer of NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, urges officers of the agency and other compatriots to remain vigilant and get ready for the next phase of operations in the new year. Now, the Nigerian Institution of Metallurgical Mining and Materials Engineers says it will continue to leverage technology using practical scientific discoveries and established principles to solve environmental challenges, deliver quality and cost-effective products with a view to boost the contributions of the mining and construction sectors to the nation's gross domestic product. The national chairman, Professor Ajay Tokan, reaffirmed this at the annual general meeting and public lecture of the institution held in Abuja. Olajide Bello reports.
NIMMME is saddled with the combined goals of extracting and refining materials from the earth, forming them into shapes and fabrications, and maintaining quality and long service lifespan with a view to addressing the issues of substandard products to avert cases of infrastructure collapse. This gathering, therefore, is to critically assess the challenges in the building and construction sector, build on the successes, and brainstorm on the way forward in line with international best practices.
We are trying to ensure that everybody is carried along.
The issue of adequate government funding for research development was also brought to the fore.
Our brilliant engineers and scientists have no tools and appropriate laboratory and workshop to work. So Ezekwes's vision was to ensure that Nigeria enrich itself with appropriate infrastructure to develop technology.
Have you come today for this induction ceremony on your own free will accord? If it is yes, will you promote the objectives of the society at all times?
Inaugurated by the Council of Nigerian Society of Engineers in 1988, the Nigerian Institution of Metallurgical Mining and Materials Division was established when the country's primary steel production plants and rolling mills commenced operations. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Jenny is in Port Harcourt for more reports on Nationwide today, the 24th of December 2023. Jenny.
Thank you very much, Ogochukwu. Rivers State residents have been assured of adequate security of lives and protection of critical infrastructure before, during, and after the Yuletide festivities. Rivers State Commissioner of Police, Tunji Dusu, stated this at the commencement of the Inter-Security Agency's show of force ahead of the Yuletide festivities. Emmanuel Lene reports.
The show of force is a joint action by all the intelligence and tactical units of the various security agencies, including the Nigeria Police Force, Army, Navy, NSCDC, and DSS. The purpose is to boost public confidence and rekindle the trust of residents in the combat readiness of all security agencies in the state towards the prompt response to security situations and every eventualities, especially during and after this Yuletide season. The long convoy of security patrol vehicles commenced from the police force headquarters at Moscow Road on to Ikwere Road, then to Ada George, NTA Choba Road down the airport, Igruta, Rumokoro, and terminating at Aba Road, and then back to the police command headquarters.
Here we had the security meeting of all the security agencies, the Nigerian Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the NSCDC, the DSS. We had our security, the usual thing we used to have. And that was where we decided to have a special operation to assist in bringing kind of a peace to the state. A show of force to give confidence to everybody within the state, to show that the police and other agencies are ready to do what we have been doing from the beginning of the year, and to ensure that they have a very, very peaceful Yuletide celebration.
The show of force, according to the Commissioner of Police, will continue until the new year, even as residents are encouraged to cooperate with the police by reporting suspicious persons and movements. In Port Harcourt, Emmanuel Lene, NTA News.
Ahead of the Christmas celebration, the commanding officer, 29 Battalion, Nigerian Army 6th Division, Lieutenant Colonel Ishiaya Manga, has distributed palliatives to widows of the command in the spirit of the season and also for their household support. Giba Baristedo Mawike reports.
The palliatives is to cushion the effect of the economic reality in the country and to put smiles on the faces of widows this Yuletide. Items distributed include bags of gari, semovita, palm oil, vegetable oil, carton of noodles, among others. The symbolic presentation was made by the commanding officer, 29 Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Ishaya Manga, to the widows, urging them to make do with what has been provided.
It is a tradition in this unit that whenever a festive period like this comes, certain palliatives are given to the barrack women. I cannot say widows, but barrack women. So those are some of the palliatives. The package is meant to show appreciation for the support you have been giving to us. And that is why we have to show our own appreciation in this kind.
The commanding officer, 29 Battalion, also hosted journalists in the state for their support all through the year and for maintaining good civil-military relationship. As the year gradually winds down, the Nigerian Army promises better service delivery in 2024. In Port Harcourt, Dibabari Siedomaweke, NTA News.
Nationwide, we will continue with Sadia in Sokoto after the break.
To have you join us in Sokoto. 25 million naira has been disbursed to the elderly persons in Sokoto State under the Renewed Hope Initiative Elderly Support Scheme of the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. The gesture covers 215 beneficiaries who takes home 100,000 naira each. Dalas Abdullahi reports.
The support scheme to the elderly is part of initiatives of the Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. Some of the beneficiaries expressed their gratitude for the First Lady's benevolence. The First Lady represented urged the beneficiaries to utilize the cash in their upkeep, adding that 950 million naira has been disbursed to the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
As we approach the festive season, it becomes very important to emphasize the significance of prioritizing our elderly citizens in our initiatives.
The Elderly Support Scheme by Her Excellency is not just a program. It is a testimony of her commitment.
A free medical outreach was also conducted to the beneficiaries to ensure their health status. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
The legacies of the late Premier of Northern Nigeria, Sir Ahmadu Bello Sardauna of Sokoto, have been rekindled at the Diamond Jubilee anniversary of Sheikh Gumi Memorial College in Sokoto. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa reports that the college has produced prominent personalities that served Nigeria in different capacities.
Sheikh Abubakar Gumi Memorial College, Sokoto, formerly known as Arabic Teachers College, was established in 1963 by the late Premier of Northern Nigeria, Sir Ahmad Bello of Sokoto, to bridge the gap in the educational sector between the northern and southern part of the country. This event was organized to celebrate 60 years since its establishment. A diplomat and professor of political science, Muhammad Ahmad Wali, presented a paper titled Celebrating 60 Years of Educational Synergy, a legacy of unity and experience, which focuses on the legacies of the late Premier.
Sardauna's leadership was marked by several key policies, among which the Northernization policy was central, aimed at ensuring fair representation and opportunities for Northerners in various sectors.
My priority is one, to see to the restoration of the so-called to its former status as a boarding school.
Former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Faruk Yahya and Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, were represented at the occasion.
We thank Almighty Allah for the opportunity given us to be in the institution, to graduate from the institution, to pursue higher education, and to reach what we are today.
Awards were presented to prominent Nigerians that include Sultan Muhammad Saad Abubakar and a host of others. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
And that's it from this end. It's now back to Ogochukuka in Abuja.
Thank you, Sadia. Now, basking in the joy of the season, the National Senior Citizens Center visited Chibiri Community in Kuje Area Council to distribute food items as part of support for the elderly this Christmas in collaboration with the Microfinance Bank. Elizabeth Omori reports that Director General of the center assured beneficiaries that the federal government will not relent in making their lives better with friendly policies in place.
That was the mood at the village square as they waited in expectation of the largesse from the center. The gesture is aimed at alleviating the economic burden on older persons in society.
We are very happy to see you people for this exercise. And inshallah, we are giving you people full support.
Director General of the National Senior Citizens Center, Dr. M.M. Omokaro, hinted that the federal government is exploring national programs to improve access to quality food, health care, and income for self-support.
What we have, number one, is that we have love and respect for our senior citizens. And we believe in our hearts that our senior citizens, our old people, they have toiled and worked for this country. And in their old age, they should not be abandoned.
She assured them that their community would not be left out in livelihood support programs. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Internally displaced persons in Nasarawa State have been reached by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons as part of efforts to cushion the effect of their displacement. Ruth Aguele, who was at the camp in Loko, Nasarawa State, brings us details.
This is Loko community in Nasarawa State, a host community for more than 250 internally displaced persons who have come from Bagana and Amagidi in Kogi State to seek refuge in the community for some years now. Abubakar Abdukarim shares his story on how they became displaced.
So for over 10 years now that we've been running Etasketa, no accommodation, no feeding, nothing. We now ran to this local.
Every cloud, they say, has a silver lining. Tasked with the responsibility of bringing hope and provide livelihood support to persons of concern, the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons have come to say thank you to the Emir of the community, His Royal Highness Abubakar Sabo, for the support given to the displaced persons who have seamlessly integrated into the community. In the spirit of the season, a visit like this would not be complete without providing relief items for the people who express gratitude for the gesture.
I am very happy and joyful in my heart. May God reward their kind hearts.
May God repay their kindness. And my prayer is that the crisis are resolved so we can return back to our homes.
So we've provided some support to these 250 displaced families. This is a first step. As you know, under the Renewed Hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we're providing renewed hope to our displaced people across the country.
For the Commission, efforts are on towards providing durable solutions for the displaced persons to ensure that the people return to their respective communities. Ruth Aguele, NTA News.
Thank you, Ruth. And now, sports update. And to end the news, it is with profound sadness that the management and staff of the Nigerian Television Authority expressed deepest condolences on the passing of the venerable actor Dejumo Lewis, renowned for his exceptional contributions to the iconic soap opera The Village Headmaster. A condolence message by the Director General Salihu Abdulhamid Dembos notes that Dejumo Lewis, through his compelling performances, brought to life characters that resonated with his audiences across the nation, leaving an indelible mark on the landscape of the Nigerian television. His dedication, talent, and unwavering commitment to his craft made him a true luminary in the entertainment industry. The DG also recognizes the impact he had in NTA as institution and the countless viewers who welcomed him into their homes for decades. His legacy will endure through the timeless moments he shared with Nigerians on screen. Our thoughts and prayers are with Lewis's family, friends, and the entire community of fans who admired his work. The Director General praised God for the family to find solace in the memories of his remarkable career and the joy he brought to so many. And that's Nationwide today. Thank you for watching.